Hey, how are you? My name is Daniel Calderon and welcome back to Corner Talks. 2021 is here. We have put 2020 in the past. A lot of us do not even want to speak of 2020. A lot of us may even revere 2020 for allowing us to pursue our passions, our hobbies, making us catch up on what is important to us. One thing we can share in common is no matter what the situation was last year, we are all looking forward to this year. 2021 is going to be a big year for a lot of people. I feel it. I'm optimistic. I've always have been. And my imagination sometimes runs with me. If you really set your goals, if you really plan yourself ahead and really give yourself some time to think about what you really want, this could be one of your greatest years yet. And instead of discussing with you guys resolutions on how to lose weight or don't eat junk food, eat more healthy, all of that stuff you hear all the time, let's be honest. Those things, fade away very fast unless you're committed. What I kind of want to talk to you guys about is basically how to approach 2021. What are certain things, very basic things that you can do to start off on a good note, to really expand and become the best version of yourself. So these are some ways on how to approach and conquer 2021. You'll have to get used to this because I'll always probably be mentioning it any chance I get, and that is to read more books. Reading allows you to expand your knowledge, to broaden your imagination, and to educate yourself, whether it's fictional or non-fictional. Reading back in 2020, I've done a lot of it. I've picked up a book whenever I had some downtime, an hour or two, especially in the afternoon, and I would just read anything that I could get my hands on. Started off with some self-help books, and then I branched off into narrative storytelling, fictional, which like Harry Potter. Any form of reading, any form of literature, articles on the internet, anything that you can grab on where you're actually spending the time at least an hour to read does an amazing thing for your brain. It brings more concentration, it expands your vocabulary. It allows you to be more articulate when you're conversing with people, which shows intelligence. It also gives you new ideas, new possibilities, especially if you're a creative, on inspirational things, how people did things a certain way. I love to read biographies and how someone made a movie happen, or where they came from when they were going through a depression or anxiety, how they overcame that. There's a lot of ways in which you can look at this. But what I can tell you, the most simplest way is to make yourself sit down for an hour or two a day. Pick anything that you want to read. I don't care if it's an article on the internet about COVID. I don't care if it's a cartoon book with little paragraphs. Sit yourself down, train your brain, train yourself to read and to discipline on the importance of not looking at your phone, not watching TV, but reading a form of literature. Organization is something you're not born with. It is a skill that you consistently develop and build upon. What do I mean by that? Well, I constantly hear from people that they say it's hard to stay organized, or life is just too busy, it's too rushed, and there's a lot going on and they can't keep up with their day-to-day life. So of course they're gonna encounter a mess. However, if your intention is to be productive and make the most out of your day, well, staying organized is your first step. When you're organized, things are neatly tidied, everything has a place or a home, as they say. Stapler goes in the closet, pens go in the pencil case. You'll start to realize that your mind is not cluttered. I take a moment every day, whether it's 5 minutes, sometimes an hour, maybe even more, depending on how bad my mess gets, to clean my room, to organize my workspace, to put things where they need to be. Because I find that when I'm not organized, when my area is not clear and not clean and things are just all over the place and scattered, it's a reflection on my mind. There are times when I'm in my study area and I'm trying to edit a video and I got, everything everywhere. I got my headphones here, I got my camera here, the lights over here. There's just a whole bunch of things, pens and papers and notebooks. They're just scattered across the desk because I'm trying to do a whole bunch of things at once. But the reason why I can't finish that piece of editing, maybe on time, maybe by the end of the day, or when I choose to, is because my mind psychologically, subconsciously, is thinking about all these different things that are around my desk. Now, I probably have something where I'm easily distracted because I've been told that since I was a kid, where I can't just focus on one thing. However, I do know that my productivity increases significantly as soon as I start organizing my space. So I can't really blame that, oh, I'm just easily distracted on that. I really do feel that when your station is just clean and you just have a laptop on the desk and you're just have your notepad or maybe just as minimal items as possible on the desk or in your area, your workspace, your mind is able to focus on whatever task you're trying to make it focus on. Back to the reading. If you decide to pick up the book and read those 10 pages or that chapter, don't read in an area that there's a bunch of clutter, a bunch of boxes maybe towering over you, or there's clothes on the floor. That'll just demotivate you to read that novel, to immerse yourself in that storytelling. If there's books, scattered across the desk, put them on the shelf, organize it alphabetically if you have to, color code it, I don't care. Just do it, put it away, get it away so you can focus on whatever you want to focus on. So staying organized is essential because it's linked to productivity. Anyone will tell you high productivity starts with being organized. And when you look for a job, if you don't believe me, they even ask you, do you have organizational skills? High organizational skills. Because they want to know, are you clean? Are you tidy? Are you a reflection of that? 2020 was a hard year for most people. And I can see a lot of people getting into a lot of bad habits, watching Netflix all day, smoking, drinking, and it's a coping mechanism. I get it. There's a lot of people that they needed some sort of relief, sanity to make sense of everything that was going on in the world. They developed some bad habits, and that's what the pandemic has really showed us, is being isolated, being told to stay home all the time can make us go into a dark path if we're not careful, if we're not disciplined enough. So going into 2021, one thing I can mention is minimize the things that you find harmful. There's a lot of people that say, oh, I drink, and they think it's not harming them. But deep down inside, they might know it maybe is harming them, right? They might know that it makes them feel groggy, or they're not, clear-minded when they perform a task, or it just kind of, diminishes their energy because they put it all into that, drinking booze. Or maybe they're smoking, that they might know a family member or someone close to them that have died of lung cancer, but they continue to smoke. Or they know that it's harming their other people in their lives that are close to them, maybe secondhand smoke, including me. Everyone has problems, everyone has things that are harmful. And instead of saying, oh, I'm gonna quit all these things, because that's not reasonable, that's not realistic, find one of those things in your life that you want to minimize, that you want to maybe eliminate. And I'm not saying quit it cold turkey. I'm not even saying throw it out completely. I'm just saying minimize it. Try to minimize it. And maybe in time, you might develop a habit where you realize I don't even need it anymore. When the pandemic started back in 2020, I was developing some bad habits. I was sleeping in, I was eating junk food, and I wasn't really being myself. Sleeping in, it was reaching till 11 o'clock. And some people watching this might laugh and say, I've slept until 1 in the afternoon, that's not sleeping in. But for me, it was sleeping in. For me, it was bad. It was, I'm the kind of guy that's waking up at 7, 8 in the morning, trying to be as productive as possible. There are people even waking up earlier than me at 5 in the morning. So what's my excuse, right? But I was taking advantage of the fact that I was home from work, and you could just do things online, and you didn't really have to be up and early and commuting and all that stuff. So I just enjoyed the fact that I was, in my comfort zone, and I got carried away with it. Next thing you know, I was getting used to the fact that I was waking up at 11. But the problem is that it made me sad. It made me feel worthless. It made me feel like I wasn't doing much, because by the time lunch came around, right, I would wake up at 11, then it was lunch, and then I would eat lunch, and then I'd start my day in the afternoon around 1 or 2. The day was shot because there was a lot of things I wanted to do. So on top of eating, junk food, right? Because, I felt like, oh, it's a pandemic, whatever, I'm at home, no one's gonna see me, whatever. But it caught up to me. I ended up gaining 20 pounds. So these harmful habits really were detrimental to me and detrimental to my mental health. And they affected me in a lot of ways. And what I did in the second half of 2020 is minimize what I was doing, the harmful behavior. And that is put an alarm system for myself. Wake up 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock, the latest, with food. I downloaded MyFitnessPal, tracked, the calories I was intaking, monitored what I was eating, got myself a treadmill. It was on sale, got off of Amazon. Gyms being closed, that didn't help, right guys? So got myself a treadmill, did some ab challenge workouts on YouTube. I was always the kind of guy being stubborn, like, oh, that's not enough, but it is. It's some form of, as long as you're doing some form of exercise, it has to be enough. So I got all that in order and I managed to see some results, and I'm starting to wake up now at a good time, 8:30 the latest, and I managed to lose about 15-20 pounds. I was really happy in my progress and my results, but it all stemmed back to minimizing the harmful behavior. It wasn't cold turkey like, oh, I'm just eating celery and carrots. It was, what can I do little by little by little to get to that point? This will be your new favorite if you're a visual person like myself, and that is create a vision board. My sister mentioned this and she's been working on hers over the break. Instead of writing your tasks down, she was telling me that you grab pictures or images pertaining or reflecting, symbolizing your goal, your aspirations, your dreams, and you create yourself a little board, a little piece of paper with all your tasks and things you want to accomplish in 2021. And I thought it was funny in the beginning, you know, siblings, we tease each other, like, what the hell is that? But upon looking at her work and how much time she invested in it, I realized, wow, there's something there. I kind of like it. And again, being a visual person, I'm very creative. And I like that instead of seeing the list and seeing just your writing, continue to do that, by the way. It's really good reinforcing in your brain, like rewiring it to write down what you want to accomplish. But it puts it on another level when you actually see the visual. Let's say it's a sports car, right? Just throwing it out there. You want a Ferrari, right? You're trying to aim for that Ferrari, or even just a car in general. Let's say it's just a car in general. Put the car that you really want to get or have an idea of, whether it's used, whether it's new, put it on that board. And whenever you're down and out, whenever you need motivation, or whenever you're on a good path, you're on fire, and you just want to remind yourself on what you're going towards, you look at that board and you see that car and you're saying, hey, this is what I was pursuing, this is what I'm after, and this is why I started. Now, for some that might be a car. For others, it could be something non-materialistic. Maybe it's to better your family, make them stronger, better that bond, that relationship. So you can put a picture of your family or a generic stock footage photo of family. It could even be like, eating healthy, right? You put pictures of fruits and salads and just remind yourself what's nutritious as opposed to what you don't want to eat. And the vision board, why I like it also is it's like an energy, a form of energy where when you see it, you feel positive, you feel grateful, you see what there is to offer, what the possibilities can be in 2021, in the new year. And you become optimistic. You see all these things that you're working towards. Naturally, the brain is excited. The brain wants these things that are on the board to become a reality. They want them to become part of who you are. I feel that, for myself, when I develop my vision board, this is something I'm going to work on, is I'm going to incorporate things like filmmaking projects that worked on last year and now I'm working on this year, or stories that I've been developing with other writers. And I'm going to put like either the title or, film sets, my 94 collection, my merch, I'm going to put that on there because these are things that I want to pursue, want to accomplish, want to improve on in the new year. Thank you again for joining me on another Corner Talks. I really hope you enjoyed my discussion on how to approach the year 2021. If you agree or disagree with my opinions, please leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Take care, and I'll see you soon.